In the last episode, we did some fun stuff, found some money, warned the neighbors, and had a few laughs. But this build was about to get extremely frustrating and push me to my limits. It broke. The engine is seized. Here's how it all went down. When I first got the car, they gave me some paperwork but no title and no bill of sale. So that was problem number one. Alright, I'm currently parked outside of a place that's not the DMV but does DMV services. And I've got a pretty substantial stack of papers that establish previous ownership and hopefully the fact that it was put on plan non-op. And I finally got the new bill of sale with my name on it. So I'm hoping I can just say, take all my papers, and they take all that and then say, here's your title, sir. And if not, then I think we have to apply for a new title or a lost title. But hopefully it's not a huge process. They basically said it's a complicated case and they're going to refer it to someone higher up who can deal with it. And so they said I should hear something back by tomorrow. So we'll see. We just got a call from the DMV guy and he said he has an update for us. So he's going to call us right back and hopefully deliver some good news that we don't have to pay back fees. Go on.
Mm-hmm. So I got the information unexpectedly early. So I was going to potentially accumulate a bunch of fees, which I did. It accumulated about $879 worth of fees. Technically, it's not your fault that the person before you has all of these fees, and like the vehicle probably hasn't even been driven in so many years, right? I'm assuming?
Correct.
All right. That being said, she went ahead and did what she had to do in the system to alter the first total of $879 to dropping it down to to $69 only.
Okay.
So I guess basically what I'm saying is ready to go. If you want to come back tomorrow.
All right, I'll head back over there tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
All right, thanks,
bye.
Wow.
$69.
I was thinking he would knock off like maybe 200 or something.
I know, and he was like redoing the total. I'm like, it's still gonna be high, but how high?
69. Then he's like, is that okay? And you're like,
that should work. 69, I can make that work.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, back to work. I knew the previous owner did something with the injectors, so that was the first thing I wanted to look at. I replaced them with some cheap ones from Amazon. All right, I think I've got pretty much everything all together. I don't have the little plastic cover on there, but we are just about there, I think. So what I did was I went and picked up this little 2-gallon gas can. I'm gonna add some of this high mileage fuel injector and carburetor treatment to it. Just give it the best chance possible of starting. And I also got this. This is my new current flavor, just to enhance the vibes here. And just cross all the fingers. And just, you know, just hope it starts. That'd be cool. Trying to manage my expectations, but hopes are pretty high. Moment of truth. I have a gas can to fill with a couple gallons of gas. I bought some distilled water, and I have some coolant to put into the radiator. And we're gonna try to start it up. We're crossing all the fingers that nothing catastrophic happens. I mean, worst case, it blows up. But that's not gonna happen. Hopefully, it's gonna start. I'm just gonna be optimistic. It's gonna start. Oh, that's leaking. Let's try that again. No, it's not coming in. Okay. This thing actually has to be pushed in order to get it to go. Oh, there it is. Is this something people do? I don't know. I don't know engine things. So it sounds like it's coming from the back.
Do it again. Yeah.
So I think that's the fuel pump, which is good.
Shut up.
No way.
No.
Is it blowing smoke or anything?
No. It smells bad, but dude.
That's something. I wonder if it smells bad because my muffler's in like pieces.
Like rubber.
It sounded like a motorcycle because there was a hole in the muffler, so I had my cousin Alex weld it. So yesterday, I was bragging to my dad about how it started so easily. You could just tap it and it would start right up. And of course, it didn't do that. And so these cables started getting super hot. So there's obviously some sort of resistance. And so I was looking down at the starter, which is deep down in there and hard to get to. But basically the little trigger wire for the starter looked like it was melted. So I just put a new little spade connector on that. Checked this ground over here, cleaned that up a little bit. And yeah, now we're gonna try it again and hope that it goes well. So I replaced the starter with another cheap Amazon one, and it immediately broke. This is the old starter. I guess this is called the Bendix. That's what it's supposed to look like. And I'm assuming because I bought this cheap one, it broke right there. And now that piece is inside the car, and I have to go retrieve it. Fun. So basically, it's gonna be really hard to see, but that piece in there is not supposed to be in there. That piece. So I put the old one back in, and with the help of ChatGPT, found this out. So the engine is seized.
What's that mean?
It means that it doesn't move. It could either be really bad or kind of bad. And so I just pulled all the spark plugs, and if I can move it now, I guess that means it's hydro locked. But if I can't, then it's probably really bad. So let's hope I can move it at least a little bit. It can move easily, but it moves. So it's hydro locked, whatever that means. I think maybe if there's like gas going in there and there shouldn't be or something.
Ah! Something popped out.
Yeah,
Liquid.
that's what's supposed to happen.
Gas. That scared. Oh, it's still coming out.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, we're leaking big time down there.
Ooh.
Seems like the
Oh my
plastic
god,
is
it hit
better,
your
huh?
camera.
All right, we got the old starter back in there. So that probably wasn't even the issue to begin with. I don't know what the issue was, but it cranked without the spark plugs in. Now we're trying it with the spark plugs to see if we can actually start this thing. Come on. Why does it still sound like that though? Finally got it running again, but it still sounded weird. Turns out there was also a hole in the catalytic converter. So we got the cat off the car, and I don't know if you can see in there, but it basically is totally blown out. So I think I need a new catalytic converter. Throughout this project, I realized whenever I hit a wall, it's beneficial to just walk away and do something else for a while. So I decided to continue on with the deep cleaning. We are going to take this carpet up and see what is underneath. And I'm kind of scared. But we'll see. It's still wet.
Oh no.
I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but when I first got this car, I knew I'd have to learn to drive a manual. It's something I'd never had to do in my entire life and never actually had that much of a desire to learn. So at first, I had my dad drive to see if everything functioned normal. And this was a super fun moment.
It's moving! It's moving! Hopefully it doesn't die further away. Yeah, it doesn't have an exhaust on it. It's funny because it sounds like he's like hot rodding it, but he's really just, he's kind of going fast for like a first run after sitting for 7 years.
Just knowing this car hadn't moved in 7 years and was now scooting up and down the street with ease felt like I had done something meaningful. I saved it from rotting into the ground and turned it into something that can actually take you places again. It still wasn't running quite right though.
Yeah, we gotta figure something out. It's not taking, the speed's not fast enough. You can hear it, but it's not like burning your fuel.
We also noticed an oil leak and a vacuum leak, but after fixing that, it was time for the fun stuff. This car is a 4x4, and it was time to make it look like it, starting with a lift kit.
I was trying to avoid doing sketchy stuff, but here we are working on a sloped driveway with the car jacked up. But the wheels are chocked and it's in gear and the e-brake set, so it should be fine. We got the old shock out, as you can see. It's a shot. The shock is shot. And we've got the used but new shock going in with the spacer attached. Got the new strut in, new used strut, and one of the nuts fell. I can't find it, so I'm gonna have to just button this up for now and then put the nut on at the end. But I left it the easiest access one. Now onto the other side, I guess.
But again, it was short-lived as the car still wasn't running right.
All right, it's like 90 something degrees. My brain is short circuiting. I put the new fuel filter in and absolutely doused myself with gasoline, taking the old one out, soaked up a bunch of cardboard, and then I was like, okay, let's push it back in the garage so that I can do the rest inside at least instead of in the heat. And so we started trying to push it up the driveway, and I cut myself because I was pushing on the tail light like an idiot and broke it. So yeah, this is just how it goes sometimes, but it absolutely sucks.
So I consulted Myron from Zook's Off-Road, and he told me it was most likely a timing issue.
You're one tooth off on your distributor because you never point the rotor at the spark plug that you are firing. You don't point it at one, you don't point it at four, you point it just coming into it because the spark jumps. You probably thought you could call me and I could go, oh, you just turned the screw half a turn and everything was straight, right?
No, I appreciate you being as in-depth as you are.
And you have to be an expert because you will not be able to take this car to any place to fix it. And
Yeah.
well, there's 5 places in America I know that know how to work on this car, but you cannot take this to a normal mechanic because they look at their big computer and they can't plug it into it.
No, I mean, I am super thankful, and I had no idea what to expect when calling because I watched your video and I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. And you had your phone number, and I was like, I don't know if he's even going to answer, but I'll give it a shot. And so I thoroughly appreciate all the detail and everything. And, yeah.
Keep back that you know, if this is not the only call you need to make, if
Yeah.
it doesn't work with what I told you, call back, we'll go to the next one.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you, boss.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
To ease my mind, I took my working X90 on a road trip to the Gambler 500 in Oregon. Basically, last minute, decided that Nico and I were going to road trip all the way up to Oregon to go to Overland Expo and the Gambler 500. So last night we drove, where are we? Shasta? Near Shasta? Somewhere near Lake Shasta, California. And this was our camp site last night. We also got the new Inspired Overland rooftop tent set up on the car. This is the first full trip that I've taken with it, and it seemed like handled pretty well. I still have my ghetto suction cup setup going on, which looks like it needs to be pumped up a little bit. But yeah, this is the setup. We also did some very last minute snot welding, but it's holding, hasn't fallen off yet. We got Nico's set up here, and we just took a little polar plunge at 7 in the morning because that's what you do when you don't have a shower. It wasn't even that cold. It was actually really nice. So now I think the plan is drive about 4.5 hours, probably 5.5 or so, with stopping for gas and charging. And then we're going to stop at the expo and then continue on and see what is going on at the Gambler 500. After I got back, I decided a compression test and fixing the timing was going to be the first thing.
All right, I have a sneaking suspicion that the crank pulley isn't aligned at 12 o'clock and it needs to be, as well as the camshaft pulley or whatever it is at the top. And so I basically had to take the whole fan shroud and fan out, and now I just took this bolt out of the very bottom, and so now that should give me access to see if this thing is lined up.
Then it was time for another test drive.
Dang, this actually feels faster when you do that.
All seemed well, so it was time for the biggest visual change.
After much deliberation, we ordered a ton of paint samples. And we decided, since whoever tried to paint the car blue at first was only about half successful, we were gonna continue with their legacy and stick with the blue theme. And I've just been calling it Blue Zuki the whole time, so it only feels right. So these were all the blues that we ordered. They're all from this company called Velocitint. Basically, they just provide the tint that you add to the Raptor liner tintable base. And out of all these, we figured, what's the most X90 version? And we decided on this one, the bright blue. It is called Process Blue, and that is what we will be painting the X90, Blue Zuki, Project X, all the things. Process Blue, the winner.
I tried to recreate this viral reel I saw on Instagram, and it kind of worked.
It's 100-some degrees and I'm trying to get this cool shot. I'm so tired. I hope it turns out.
This is the rhythm of the...
While the car seemed like it ran fine, it was still idling rough. And at this point, I was fully ready to give up and take it to an actual mechanic. But I found out you could check for vacuum leaks by doing a smoke test, and I happen to have a portable smoke machine for photography. So I had Aubrey run the smoke machine while I looked to see if it would come out anywhere, and sure enough, it came pouring out, and it was just because I forgot to tighten some nuts. So after I tightened those back up, boom, running perfect. After that was squared away, we took it in to get smogged. This was the final boss battle, and it immediately failed. Not because it didn't pass emissions, but because the catalytic converter I installed wasn't California compliant. So I bought a California compliant one, cut the old one out, and had someone weld the new one in. Brought it back, and it still failed. This time because 2 monitors hadn't reset. So we had to complete a very specific drive cycle, which ended up taking over 200 miles over the course of 3 days. Finally got one to clear, brought it back, and it passed. So we immediately drove to the DMV, paid the registration, got our tags, and we were on our way. But as we turned out of the DMV, the car wouldn't go into gear.
Clutch not grabbing. Feels pretty soft. Shit, we're gonna have to push it.
So we ended up stuck in traffic and had to push the car into the median. We couldn't figure it out, but I was able to get it somewhat going, and I drove it all the way home, barely understanding how to drive a manual.
Go, everyone go.
This was super stressful, but funny, and it actually ended up being a loose clutch cable, so it was an easy fix. All that was left was to get in alignment and get the windows tinted. Overall, this was the most frustrating but also extremely rewarding experience. There were so many times I thought I wasn't going to figure it out, but in the end, it all worked out, and I learned a lot in the process. But the next project will be even bigger, so make sure you subscribe.